Season 3 of the Northeast States Only Challenge is looking really promising. We are 5-2, but so are two other teams in our division, with the Patriots being one of them, which we will open up this episode against. We'll also quickly have another match against them in Week 11, so we'll at least figure out where we stand with the Patriots rather quickly. The other teams, mostly just the Bills. Bills we did lose to earlier in the season. Dolphins we have already swept. They are 0-7 this season. The best way to get to the playoffs is to win your division. So if we could get some nice wins in this episode, might make things a little bit more clear. And we're doing it with a 7th round quarterback who came in a 63 overall. And he's been playing pretty well. Granted, we have been a primary rushing team, but we're looking pretty good doing it. Now at this point, Week 8. This is trade deadline week, so it's time to make a decision, and I think I have made one. There is not much to look forward to in the upcoming draft, at least of any round 1 or 2 talent. There's some 3rd to 4th and some day 3s, but I think with us doing really well, we just need to add on maybe one more guy who might be able to push us over the edge and really solidify our defense, and that person is cornerback Byron Jones. I want to say was in the first offseason. We tried to sign him in open free agency, but he just didn't want to come to us. But he would be our highest rated corner, I'm pretty sure. But he definitely has some of the best ratings we could possibly have at corner with a 93 press. He's not going to, pick off a lot of passes with 63 catching, but he should do well in coverage. Maybe allow our pass rush to get home a little bit more. So we're going to make a trade for Byron Jones. Now, if we're just looking at offers that they put on the table, they would want a current 3 and a future 6. Now, most of the best talent in this next draft class is a 3rd to 4th round, so I don't want to lose the 3. But what I'm interested in seeing is if I give them a 2, will they give me Byron Jones and a 4th round pick? We'll submit the offer and trade done. So Byron Jones will come in and will just be one of our best corners. Now, he's not much higher rated than Isaiah Rodgers, but when you go look at everything, the press alone is well worth that trade, going from our best being an 83 with Yidam to a 93 with Byron Jones. Not really losing a step. He still has his speed, even though he's 31 years old. We are going to have to release someone, though, and I think that's going to be Trey Avery. Just really never had much of a chance of making that final roster, so we will be releasing him. And with Byron Jones coming in, we pretty much have the best possible players we could have from any of the allotted schools we're allowed to use. So now we could jump into the first game against the Patriots after we check the DB breakout. And this will be for Isaiah Rodgers. I want to say he's a normal dev. He might be a star. Either way, he needs to hold the Patriots to less than 150 passing yards, him and the team. Or him himself just get a combination of 2+ interceptions, forced fumbles, tackles for loss, or sacks. We'll see if he could get the job done with our new cornerback tandem. Maybe that'll increase the likelihood. And it will be the defense up first, so we'll get to see some Byron Jones as well as one more tweak that I did make to the starting 11. Switching out Logan Ryan at strong safety with Will Harris as we get an immediate blitz. Ends up getting flipped upside down, and now they have a huge play right down the seam. Talk about a switch of feels, really within one play. Think you're going to get that sack, and then instead a 28-yard gain. Going the opposite way. Play action pass here going right down the seam again and off the back of the second-year corner Collins' helmet. Basically smacked him right in the back of the head. At least that's one way to use your head. 2nd and 10 will be another pass here. Goff going down to the bottom. Chubb with the catch and a few yards gained. That was Byron Jones' first tackle with the squad. 3rd and 7 with trips up top. Sitting back in shotgun, quick pass, intercepted by Collins. Better way to use your head this time as he's headed down. Needs to get past Goff. He will. Can he outrun Chubb? Yes, he will. pick six on the first possession of defense. And for the second possession, we'll just go ahead with a quick sim as Zach Allen gets the sack, then a 3-yard gain. 3rd and 17, 17 yards to Underwood, who did have the 28-yard gain. Not going to get the first down there, and they do punt. So first possession of offense, we'll start back at the 29. And again, this should primarily be running the ball. That's what we did very well last episode. Helped us to a 5-2 record, but we'll start with a throw or a scramble. If only he stepped up. He had a bunch of space. Instead, 5-yard loss. Also did make a slight tweak to the offensive starting 11, essentially, because I want Juszczyk to be the fullback, also being a tight end. I've moved him to the second tight end as we have another loss, 2 yards on that play. Well, like I was trying to say, moved him to the second tight end, now first fullback. We'll see if that works. We might end up switching back. We do have 4 up top, 1 down to the bottom, and we go to Hunter Long off of his back. So not a good start for him back in that number 1 tight end spot. We'll have to punt from deep in our own territory. Hofrichter. We'll put a nice boot through it, and they'll be starting at about the 36. Well, that first offensive possession, not very good. First defensive possession was very good. Second, also pretty good. This one starting off a little bit more shaky with 2 straight 2-run. Chubb's getting first downs is essentially what I'm trying to say. 2nd and 3, 13 yards there. Terry McLaurin gets them inside the 15 with another rush by Chubb. So can our defense get the stop here? Down inside the 15 at the 14 with a bunch to the top of the formation. 1 receiver to the bottom. Goff with a quick throw and touchdown. Terry McLaurin. And after the holding on the return, we're starting at the 16. I don't know why it says 15. That ball's clearly at the 16. But a much better play here as we don't lose yards, because that's what we did consistently on the first possession. And this season, Pacheco has definitely been our number 1 running back. We are 4 deep, but he's been getting primarily most of the carries, more than double that of what A.J. Dillon has been getting. Although on 3rd and 1, I wouldn't mind a sub of Dillon coming in, and I'm pretty sure he did. Pretty sure those are different sleeves. With the ace formation, Dillon right down the middle, good blocking up front, will get more than what was needed. But yeah, really trying to have a good rotation at that running back spot. As mentioned, we are 4 deep, and really only 2 of them have been getting the carries. So as the season goes on, we might start to artificially rotate those running backs a little bit more, especially when it gets later into the games. 3rd or 4th quarter, start switching some of the depth chart around just to make sure all of them are getting carries, and we have some fresh legs as Pacheco will get us past the 50. He's averaging a little over 5 yards a carry after the poor start. With another ace formation here, right down the middle, A.J. Dillon plowing through 1 defender, and will pick up 7. But with us obviously coming out in a lot of 2 tight end sets, that it does at least still get Juszczyk out there as a tight end spot. So using him a lot more as Pacheco with another wide open lane right down the middle. That guard center combo is working out really well. And the Patriots do have Ed Oliver in the middle, so he should be a pretty decent run stopper. Was good for us in the Texas only challenge. The only time I wish that it actually put Juszczyk in as the tight end 1 is in this formation, because it has the tight end essentially playing that fullback role as Jeff Smith goes in motion, essentially just be a distraction with another handoff down the middle, leaving 3rd and inches as Pacheco stays in with a bunch to the bottom, 1 up top. Sitting back in pistol is David Wells. Handed off down the middle. Nothing shocking there. First down gained. As we now come out with an empty set, look for that receiver screen to the top where they only have 2 corners, 1 safety, and that's exactly where we're going to go. We should have the advantage if we could get some good blocks, and close to the end zone. Bo Melton down to the 4. That should honestly be closer to the 3. And it is actually closer to the 3. Madden's just weird. But a goal line formation will be Macho versus Macho. Juszczyk leads the way. We get stuck on one of our linemen, and that slowed us down just enough. Now, I wouldn't mind a fullback dive here, but probably will be going back to Dillon. Hard count, no one jumps, and then the power run, and spinning off of one guy and getting tripped up. It will be 3rd and goal from the 1. We'll try again. Same formation, flipping it back to the bottom side for the heavy set. We do bring out an extra lineman for that bottom tight end, and Dillon not going to get very close. But the aggressive nature of the team has worked for us this season, so let's continue that. Going for it here on 4th down. We had a receiver open for a second, still have a receiver open. We'll throw it later, and that'll be a touchdown for Jeff Smith on the 4th down. Good throw from the 7th round receiver or quarterback David Wells. So with just over 2 minutes, well, no longer over 2 minutes, but about 2 minutes left here before halftime. Can our defense keep him out of the end zone? 19 yards there. Valdez-Scantling isn't very promising. Another 22 Valdez-Scantling. And touchdown George Pickens. So that is a very quick answer. The DB group does not do very well there. But with all 3 timeouts, can we answer on offense? 2 tight ends set down to the bottom, 2 receivers up top. David Wells in the pocket. Hasn't thrown much today. Has a completion here to Jeff Smith underneath. Will be about an 8-yard gain. Just letting the clock run at this point. Now about a minute, under a minute. Snap the ball, please. Thank you. Quick pass. Going to be caught. Hunter Long this time. Not using his back, actually using his hands. As we do use our first timeout up to the 40. Need probably about another 20, 25 yards to get in the field goal range. Sticking with the 2 and 2. Talking about receivers and tight ends. Another pass going to Jeff Smith, who cuts up and gets close to midfield, and they do mark it at midfield. However, only 1 timeout remaining as we come out with an empty set. Do we go receiver screen? No. Verts with a quick lofting pass and a heck of a grab by the rookie in Gatewood. We know he has the ability to be special. Just can he fit and find a role within this offense? He hasn't had a lot of stats prior to as David Wells going to tuck and scramble down to the 15. Please call a timeout here. No. Okay, we wait till the 7 seconds left and then we call a timeout. But with what we just saw from Gatewood, I would love to give him another opportunity. With 7 seconds left, we cannot take a sack. David Wells to the back of the end zone, and Gatewood puts us back in front. The DB just completely let him blow by him. I don't know if he assumed he was going to have safety help or not. Either way, blown coverage, and we'll take the lead. And to start the second half, we have the ball, so a great job to get down the field and get at least some amount of points. Touchdown, fantastic. I would have taken the field goal as well with us getting possession once again. But in total, great way to end after bouncing back from the defense allowing a very quick touchdown. This drive, moving pretty well. Nice job, Raymond, there getting the first down. As we get close to the red zone, if we do, we will jump in. And yeah, down to the 9. Let's see if we can cap this one off as we come out in ace formation. They're stacking the line. I imagine it'll be a run down the middle. Indeed, it will. Pacheco cuts to the bottom, breaks 1 tackle, and into the end zone. There was no stopping him on that play. Now let's jump to some quicker sim here. See if the Patriots can find their way to get back in this as we have a 2-score lead. Pickens with 11 yards there will definitely help out, getting him into plus territory, then a throwaway, and then a huge penalty on Will Harris. It's definitely not just a 15-yard penalty, but Aluakon will help us out getting a pick and something he really hasn't done much this series at all. It's definitely not a 60-yard return, so Madden is pretty broken at times, but we will at least get the ball on offense. See if we can move down, put us up maybe 3 scores. Just need a field goal to do it. Running pretty well on this drive. That's what the offense is supposed to do. Heavy run as we go into the 4th quarter. Inside the 25, inside the 20. 1st and 10, 6-yard gain, A.J. Dillon. Then 8 more yards, Raymond. Mixing it up a little bit here. 4 yards down to the 1, and touchdown for Gus Edwards. Not too often do we see him check in, but checks in at a good time, putting us up 3 touchdowns. It's now 35-14. McLaren gets 26 yards. Then a sack. Aluakon really coming through for us in this game. Knocked away by Justin Simmons, 3rd and 19, and then thrown away. I think we can start to move through this a little bit quicker. Obviously have the large lead. Look like we might go up 4 scores, and we do. Simmed a little too fast. Don't know who scored that one. And it was another touchdown for Gus Edwards, a 3-yard rush. Love that he's getting out there. But with the score now 42-14, really start jumping through this a lot quicker here. Defense does get the stop on 4th and 14, forcing the turnover on downs, and that will be game. A statement made. We've defeated all of our divisional opponents but the Bills. And we do so in this one behind a heavy rushing game, 207, and then 144 passing, but shout out to the defense for 2 turnovers. Now, I know we didn't see really anything pop up, and I even forgot to look at how many passing yards we allowed. But do we get the player breakout? Isaiah Rodgers had a pretty quiet game out there, so no, does not look like we held them to, less than 150 passing yards or having those 2 other things. But still, that win is really important. Now, looking at the remainder of the schedule, obviously, we have the Patriots again, week 11 with us. Already watching that game this episode, that one will be a sim, so I'm thinking we'll probably sim the next 2 games. I would love to watch a Bills game, but that's not until week 16, so that'll probably be a next episode kind of a thing. So I think what we're going to do is just start simming. I want to obviously get the normal about 2.5 games roughly per episode. So there's definitely some more simming we need to get through. I'll probably sim the next 2 games, maybe watch a little bit of the Vikings game just because it's the Vikings, and then maybe we'll choose one more from the Cardinals, Bengals, or 49ers. If any of them look like they're playing really good this season, I want to see how we could stack up against them. So let's start with some simming. And make it 2 of 3 divisional foes we have swept this season with the defeat of the Patriots in both week 8 and 11. It was a 42-14 game in that first one and then a 24-14 game in the second. We did, however, in week 9 lose to the Titans. Now, I will say that was one heck of a game. The Titans won it with like a minute left. No team could put a single touchdown on the board until a minute left in that game. It was fun to watch the quick sim because it was just nothing, then a field goal, then nothing for a while, then a field goal, and then eventually, late in the game, we did end up losing it. But now we have the Vikings. And in the first time since my Madden 22 Vikings franchise, they're actually doing well. 9-2. They have Saquon Barkley and I think a rookie or maybe second-year quarterback. And they are in our way. And what we really need wins. Because right now we have the same record as the Bills. They defeated us earlier in the season. So if we're going to get above them, we have to win. We also have to beat them later. But we have to get wins and try to get above them so that we don't have to rely on a split of essentially the record between the 2 teams. So we're going to jump into this Vikings game, see how well we could do, see if our defense can beat Saquon Barkley. Also an injury update. We won't have Byron Jones in this game because in practice he did separate his wrist or something like that. Something with his wrist. So he should be back in the week 13 game against the Cardinals. But in this one, we'll go back to essentially the cornerback group we had prior to. And once again, it'll be defense up first. So the Vikings come out in shotgun, 2 to the top, 1 to the bottom. Drop back pass, and they will get it off, but not going to get much. Saquon Barkley back to the line. Now, this offense actually has been pretty well balanced. They're not really focused on one thing over another, as there's a nice rollout. We'll find his receiver for the first. But this offense, they could run the ball, they could pass the ball, so it's going to be all facets of our defense that are going to have to come through for us. As a first run for Saquon down the middle, we'll gain about 4. Now, one thing we may end up having to do if they continue to run heavy while in these shotgun formations is maybe Allen gets taken out, Landry moves back over to that spot, and then Mack can actually go back to the outside. In fact, Ukasi plays the inside as Landry does get the sack here. And we need 3+ in this game for a potential boost, as that was what we had chosen to stop a team who really has not been stopped much of this season, is try to just force a good pass rush, disrupt their pass plays. We should do well enough in the run game. As we do actually get the stop here. Nice tackle there from Collins, 4th and 12. Would imagine they punt. So with our defense, we can play it by ear, make some adjustments if need be. But on offense, we're sticking to what we do best. However, will be another pass on play 1. We'll find Raymond for a few yards. But like we mentioned, it should be run heavy as we are in pistol. Will be a run down the middle from Pacheco, who maybe if he cut down to the bottom would have had a little bit more space, but it will be a decent gain there, about 4, maybe 5-ish yards, setting up 3rd and 1. As we spread wide here, will be a pass across the middle. That's going to be Raymond once again with a first down to the 47. I will say that this state-only challenge or states-only challenge has been really fun because it's been a challenge through and through, as there's a sack from number 93. But it's definitely been a challenge just because of the limited amount of players possible, and the drafts really haven't been all too great, so we're having to have guys play well when their ratings don't always indicate that they should. Now, hopefully me saying that doesn't come back to bite us, so knock on wood. As we have a 3rd and 12 here, David Wells sitting in the pocket. We'll find that's Gatewood close to the first down, 4th and inches. You know what we're doing. Coming out in goal line. Hughes check. It's time to hand the ball off to you, bud. Let's get the first down a little bit more. Cut to the inside, and we'll get the first down, but a flag comes in late. Now that does make things more interesting here with a 4th and 6 rather than a first down. Hard count, no one jumps. Let's go for it anyway. Who's going to get open? Or are we just going to have to scramble here with David Wells, get the first down and slide down? Crisis averted. With about 2 minutes left in the first quarter, now into or inside the 40 here. Be a handoff back to Pacheco with some space. Nice tackle in open field there from number 1. Will be marked as a gain of 3 as we send Jeff Smith in motion. Look for that halfback dive, which we do run. Ran very well from number 98. Blows that one up. And on top of that, the guy who was trying to even block him held. So just an all-around great play there in the middle. 2nd and 17, we go with a handoff, and Dylan with a slight hesitation might have cost us an extra about 4 or 5 yards. At least we'll set up a 3rd and 11. If we could get about 5 yards out of this, I'd be comfortable with a field goal attempt. But we will loft it, and Gatewood was open at the 40. Do we send out the field goal unit? Looks like we will. Kicking from the 47, make this a 57-yarder for the rookie. Can he hit it home for us? Has the power. Accuracy, though, not there. Pretty sure that was his first miss that we've watched, if I'm remembering correctly. Vikings will take over with some space for Saquon as a nice tackle there by Isaiah Rodgers Sr. Looking like another run formation here as they come out with 2 tight ends to the top and maybe a receiver, or maybe that's a 3rd tight end. Will be a play action pass rush not really there as they go deep downfield into triple, quadruple coverage even. Ends up getting knocked away, leaving a 3rd and 4. Double A gap look for our defense. Do we send the house? No. Maybe a delayed send, which actually costs us. Would have rather had someone on the outside as Saquon Barkley gets the first. So looking like this might be a similar matchup to that Tennessee Titans game where it's going to be a low-scoring one as they do not elect to run a play before the end of the quarter. So we'll flip the field, which they really don't have to walk very far. And they'll go with a stretch down to the bottom on play 1. Saquon not going to get by Milano. Now a dual running back set, although it looks like they might have a receiver potentially back there. I think this is the Debo playbook as a flag comes in. Might be a face mask. And indeed it is on Will Harris, giving him another chance to be in the starting group. And he's had some mixed play. 1st and 10, that same formation. Quick pass, not timed up very well. At least for us, it was timed up well, but for them, not so much. 2nd and 10, under center they go with a tight formation. Will be another stretch down to the bottom, and we have several guys there, including Mack, who gets the tackle for loss. 5 rushes, 11 yards for Saquon. So we're doing a great job of stopping his rushing game, at least so far. 3rd and 13. We'll dump it off to Saquon. Actually, not Saquon. This running back 2 checks in, and he'll get a few. That was Algier with the catch, so I like that tandem. Saquon and Algier, not too bad. Now they will hit their field goal. Now from here, I do want to jump into a little bit of some more quicker sim as thank you, Okuda, for the 15-yard rough penalty. Yeah, it actually will be 15 yards and 28 yards for Jeff Smith. 5 yards Pacheco. Can we go ahead and get in the end zone here? 1st and 10, 12 yards Gatewood down to the 3 and 0-yard rush and touchdown Pacheco will put us in front 7-3. Now can the defense continue what has been a pretty good start? 2 yards rush there, then Brevin Jordan. Wow. Maybe I should learn how to read a little bit better. 1 yard rush, Saquon. Like I said, we're doing pretty well against the rush. Just have to make sure we're also doing that in the passing game as we do force the throwaway, get the ball back. with about 3.5 minutes here before halftime. Can we go ahead and get another touchdown on the board? Pacheco gets us to the 50, and if we get inside the red zone, we'll jump in and watch. 16 yards Raymond, 5 more yards A.J. Dillon inside the 30, inside the 25 with a 6-yard rush Dillon. Maybe now we could go ahead and jump in with Hunter Long's 10-yard catch. With just over a minute left, both teams have all 3 timeouts. Quick pass, gonna be caught. Hunter Long, who can walk into the end zone, finishing off what he did to get us inside the red zone, now inside the end zone. Now, all we need is the defense to not allow a touchdown like we saw in that first watch game right before half as Deebo Samuel, Brevin Gordon. Why do I keep saying Brevin Gordon? Brevin Jordan. Wow. Deebo once again. Then a penalty will kind of slow them down a little bit. But then they'll get 15 more yards. And why does Jameson Williams have that as his photo? Okay, Madden. 1st and 10, and then a touchdown. So no, the defense cannot play well inside the 2-minute warning. 14 seconds left. Maybe we jump in. In recent games, we have seen Gatewood start to get some decent releases pretty quick. See if he can do the same thing here, which he does. Beats the defender. A nice pass from the 7th-round quarterback. And yes, we will be adding on a touchdown. No, apparently we actually fall down at the 1. I don't understand how they call that down because he wasn't touched. It should have been a touchdown. Instead, Hughes check. He will get the touchdown. Madden, do you know the rules of the NFL, or are you really just that broken? I just guess sometimes asking for a game that works is a little bit too much. As we start the second half, we have a 21-10 lead. Look for a lot more rushing here in the second half as we do get the first down with a pass and then a sack by Okoronkwo. Why does that? I don't know. My mouth doesn't move that well, I guess. 3rd and 14, and he's back for more. Well, that possession did not go very well for us, nor did my pronunciation of his name. 6-yard gain there by Saquon, and then another 14 by Jameson Williams. It looks like he's taking a mugshot. 2nd and 4 penalty. Give them a first down, -3. So someone got a tackle for loss. Then a Khalil Mack sack. So that's 2, I believe. 2. Maybe we need one more. Maybe that one was the 3rd that we needed. And they punt from about the 40. Interesting. We also then lose 2 yards on our first play. Still up 11. Another -2. 3rd and 14. Then we get 2. Well, not a lot happening in the 3rd quarter. Besides Deebo Samuel going for 20 yards. Then a throwaway. 2nd and 10. 8 yards Brevin Jordan. 3rd and 2. Defense will get the stop, force the field goal attempt, which they will hit. Now just a touchdown game as Pacheco gets 7. 2nd and 3, he gets 2. 3rd and 1, Pacheco converts. As we do hit the 4th quarter, and I think now would be a good time to make that switch at running back. So A.J. Dillon will be the primary back for the 4th quarter here. We'll still might see a little bit of some Pacheco in some sub situations. Maybe see a little bit more of some Gus Edwards as well. As Dillon running pretty well here. He's had, 5 straight carries? 6 straight carries, 3rd and 2. Reception for Jeff Smith, love it. 1st and 10, another 5 yards Dillon. 2nd and 5, 8 yards Dillon. Inside the 15, inside the 10. Can he cap it off here? No, but a penalty does give us a free first down at the 1. And touchdown Gus Edwards. That'll give us a nice 2-score lead late here in the 4th quarter. And Isaiah Rodgers with the interception. That just might be the nail in the coffin. Another penalty on them will give us another free first down. Inside the red zone, 2nd and 3, 7 yards Dillon, which we just saw as we hit the 2-minute warning. 1st and goal, 2-yard rush Gus Edwards, and -3 Gus Edwards. Okay, 3rd and goal, then a 2-yard rush by Wells. We'll let them go ahead and kick the field goal here. It's already well in hand, 31-13. Let this game come to an end. Maybe Vikings try to put some points on late. Thrown away. Nope, that is game. Well, we've done pretty well in all of the watched portions. Only with that one game that we lost in the sim. But even that one was a close battle. In this one, we end up with 196 passing yards, 168 rushing, forcing another turnover. Now, we did give up a lot of passing yards, 234, but only 29 rushing yards to Saquon Barkley. Nice. And the wins keep rolling against the Cardinals and Bengals, both very similar games, a 24-17 win over the Cards and then a 23-17 win over the Bengals. Now that brings us to week 15 against the 49ers. And the 49ers are 9-4 on the season, and last I checked, they are second on the NFC side, and indeed that is still true, second seed. As for us, we're over at the 5th seed, but if we could just get in front of the Bills, we could be the 2nd seed. So it's a very, very close race over in the AFC. And if we're going to try to take that from the Bills, not only do we have to get the win in this 49ers game, but at the start of next episode against the Bills, we're going to have to ensure a win there too. So let's start with the one that will end this episode against the 49ers. We need the win. And we will be starting this game in the quicker sim. Already a good start for the 49ers with the 13 yards. We then get 3 back, they get 5 more, but we do get the stop on 3rd down. Isaiah Likely drops the pass. So defense gets the first stop. Now offense, can we get the first points? Start with a couple shorter plays here. Say shorter. Again, depends. Some people might say that's more of a medium with 8, but I don't know. I expect us to do a lot better, and a penalty with Jabril Peppers will help us out. 15 yards is a nice chunk. 7 yards Jeff Smith as we get in or close to the red zone. Now into the red zone. We can jump in. Coming out with a shotgun look. 2 down in the bottom, 1 up top. Pacheco. He will not get the ball, and we won't even get the ball. That's going to be a pick. Make sure we get the tackle. One of the Lindstroms does, I believe. Chris Lindstrom? Either way, not a good pass. Adoree Jackson going to get the pick. So definitely not a great start for the offense. They were moving pretty well, but if you throw a pick, it kind of ruins everything you did prior to. Sack here from Landry. Bringing up 2nd and 20. They get 9 yards. 3rd and 11. They convert with DeAndre Hopkins. If they get into the red zone, we definitely will watch. 1st and 10, 4 yards Jones. 2nd and 6, 2 yards Hopkins. 3rd and 4. I don't know what happened to Lamar Jackson's player photo, but in like the last week or so, I don't know if there was an update. Yeah, it's not even close. But 4th and 4, they get the field goal. Now, how do we respond? 9 yards from Pacheco sends us into the 2nd quarter. Then a 5-yard gain, 1st and 10, 4-yard rush by the quarterback David Wells. Another 6 by Pacheco. 3rd and 1, Jeff Smith converts. Really like to go to him on 3rd and short. 2nd and 8, 8 more to Pacheco, leaving 3rd and inches. Pacheco converts, gets us close to the 30 before we lose 3, so back to the 35. Now back over towards the 30, 3rd and 8. We get close. And you know we're going for it here. Looks like we might have an advantage up front. We have the space. Pacheco finds the gap, and that'll be a 1st down inside the 20. So let's hope that us jumping in here to watch the remainder of this drive doesn't end like the last one did. Look for a receiver screen up top. Not looking great, but we still go to it, and somehow we don't lose as many yards as I thought we were going to. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Now on 2nd and 10, changing things up a little bit. Looks like trips down to the bottom, 1 up top. Pacheco next to David Wells. He'll take the handoff on the draw, cut into the middle, and will maybe manage about 3. Not too bad of a start, though, for Pacheco. 15 carries already, though, but 70 yards, not too bad. Flipping the formation, go with another run down the middle, cutting towards the bottom. We'll break 1 tackle, and again, really close. 4th and 1. So we'll bring out A.J. Dillon. He's our power back. Not that Pacheco doesn't have some power, but not as much as Dillon, who has all the space right down the middle. Go ahead and grab a lead in this one. Well, we've seen a good battle so far, and Hopkins starts off their drive with 23. Expect this to be a good game with both sides making plays. They're both doing really well this season. Throwaway 3rd and 6. They convert by just 1 extra yard. Inside 1.5 minutes, a sack by Landry, his 2nd of the game. 3rd and 14. They do not get close. 4th and 9. They miss the field goal. So once again, we have an opportunity to get some more points on the board going into half and then get the ball back right after half. We have a nice open pass here. Going to find Gatewood, who has had a pretty good episode, I would say. Definitely starting to get him involved a bit more in the offense, finding his role, which was something we were hoping we'd be able to do, considering he is a really good receiver. But we have a very running back focused offense, I would say. I mean, obviously Pacheco already has probably gotten close to 20 carries in the first half, and he gets involved in the passing game. So not a good pass. Jeff Smith was open, but great play from the linebacker. And now maybe they'll have an opportunity with 3 timeouts to fully swing momentum and get some points of their own. With a quick pass, number 19 will get the catch and a first timeout called. 31 seconds remain on the board before halftime. 2nd and 2. I would say they need to probably get about 30 more yards for field goal range as 19 gets the catch once again. Second timeout called. Up to the 46. I would imagine around 35, that's typically the most average spot for kickers to need to get to at least make things more manageable, as they do call their final timeout. So not being extremely nitpicky with their management, just get the catch, get some yards, call a timeout. 14 seconds remains for them. We have 1 timeout ourselves as Jackson rolls to the top. Here comes Robinson with the sack, and that'll send us into halftime. No points for either team, but at least we'll carry the lead. And I feel like this drive could be pretty big for us to start the second half, so we will tune in for it. We got a single back ace set here with Pacheco. He'll get the handoff, cut towards the bottom when he had the space in the middle. I don't know what that read was about, but it definitely was not the right one. And we could see that switch from Pacheco to A.J. Dillon fairly quickly with him already close to those 20 carries. Timeout called. I don't know if that's just Madden being slightly broke or if that was supposed to be the flag from earlier. It also potentially could have been an injury, but what hurt us, though, is the holding. 2nd and 18. As we motion over Jeff Smith, look for that, again, handoff right down the middle with the pulling tight end. We'll get a few out of it, but not a great choice to go with that on 2nd and 18. So on 3rd and 14, we'll go wide here. 2 up top, 1 down to the bottom, back in shotgun. A.J. Dillon does check in as maybe going to make an audible, or maybe we're just going to stand here. And yeah, we're just standing here and going to take a flag. Thanks, Madden. That makes a lot of sense. So instead of the 3rd and 14, Madden breaks and we have 3rd and 19. All right, empty look. David Wells almost picked off for a 3rd time. Well, I would say it seems like it might be one of those games where Madden is out to get us. We do have a 3rd and 7 here, though, but DeAndre Hopkins gets 16, so he's doing a pretty good job. Aluakon knocks the pass away. 3-yard rush, Aaron Jones, another 3rd and 7 that is thrown away. Can they hit the field goal from here? Yes. Yes, they can. Now, what about our offense? Can we finally get things going here in the second half? -3 not going to help out. 2nd and 13. We get the 3 back for 3rd and 10. Okay, Pacheco, thank you for the 22 there on the reception. Maybe it was a screen, not sure. 1-yard rush, 8 there from Pacheco. 3rd and 1, throw away. And we're going to go right back to what worked for us previously. A.J. Dillon checks in, and he'll be the main guy for the remainder of this game. With good blocking down the middle, 1st down gained. And we'll go ahead and watch the remainder of the drive here with 2 receivers down to the bottom, 1 up top. Same formation I think we were just in, or no, tight end moves into that fullback slot. Will be another handoff down the middle. Dillon finding some space, spinning off of a guy inside the 30. Sticking with some more pistol, just changing up where the receivers and tight ends line up. Will be a draw down the middle with a lead blocker. Gus Edwards gets the 1st. Doesn't get a whole lot after the 1st, but he gets the 1st. With a 1st down, come out with ace formation. Will be a dive down the middle. Dillon wins some space, and they just really like to run towards the defenders. I guess in a way, kind of helps us out because we can chew clock a little bit more. 2nd and 4, look for the screen up top. Indeed, that's what we go with. Going to throw it at any time. We'll find Bo Melton for maybe a gain of 1. And now back to the tight end turn fullback formation here for 3rd and 3. This is a big down. As it's a play action roll towards the top, we unload to an open receiver, Raymond, falling into the end zone. We'll go ahead and widen our lead back to a full lead. No longer just 1 point. With the extra point, we'll make it 8. Now, if we do give up a touchdown, they'll still need the 2-point conversion, and then that just ties. So it gives us a little bit of some breathing room. Khalil Mack knocks the pass away. 2nd and 10, 26 yards to Deontay Barrow. All right. Knocked away by Aluakon. He's been doing that fairly often this game. 14 more yards for Barrow. Down inside the red zone, inside the 15. Can our defense make the play? 2 receivers stacked down to the bottom, 2 tight ends up top. Jones the lone back. He will take the handoff right down the middle, close to the first down before meeting Mack. 3rd and essential inches, not really 3rd and 1. There's not much space there, as it will be a pass. Jackson actually going to look to roll to the bottom, has the open grass, cuts towards the middle, sliding down at the 3. Now it will be goal line versus goal line. Who's going to have the better strength as they go with a sweep to the outside? A bad angle from Justin Simmons. And this game could be tied up if they go for 2, which they are going for. Very similar formation to what they just ran, except 1 receiver up top, I believe, is Hopkins. They'll hand it off right down the middle and stuffed. No, they say he taps the line. Game's tied. Well, offense, it comes down to you. 5 minutes and 2 seconds left on the clock. Both teams have 3 timeouts, and I say this because we run a lot. And if we could start chewing the clock while moving the ball consistently downfield, we might have our key to victory. As mentioned prior to this game actually starting, this is a big one. We need to keep up with the Bills, because if they win this game, or win in this week, we also need to win, and then we'll face them to start next episode. That one game could potentially decide who ends up winning the division, who makes a playoff, what seeding. There's a lot riding on these 2 games, so we need to make sure we do our best. And we've already taken about 1.5 minutes off the clock, just moving the ball, 10, 15 yards? So we could easily drain the remainder of this one. As we hand it off, Dylan once again cuts towards the middle. Be a solid gain, 6 yards. 7 rushes, 44 yards, and a touchdown for Dylan on the day. Would like to see that keep going up. It'll be a play-action pass. Wells has an open receiver. That's going to be Gatewood. Wells has been a pretty good quarterback for us with this scheme this season, but this game he's made me nervous with some of his throws, as Dylan will get a nice 7, maybe 8. Granted, talking about Wells' throws, all of them have hit a person in the hands, just not all of them have been wearing the Jets uniform. And on 2nd and 3, inside the 2-minute warning, look for that screen once again up top. They only have 2 corners down. We have the advantage. We have the blockers. That's going to be a first down for Bo Melton inside the 15. Wells is 12 of 16 on the day, but the 2 interceptions could have been 3. Always makes me worried is Dylan with a wide... you have to love what this offensive line has been able to do. By no means are they all highly rated. We have 1 guy in the 90s, I will say that, 1 guy in the 80s, but then 3 are all about mid-70s, so... really, they've done a fantastic job. As Dylan, I'm going to credit that cut to just trying to kill time. Or I guess more aptly say, waste timeouts. As they come out with a goal line set, we're in the ace back. Handed off right down the middle. Dylan with the first down, not into the end zone. Final timeout called. With 1 minute, 21 seconds on the board, we come out 2 receivers set in the pistol. And we hand it off. Dylan can walk in. He only really takes 1 step in and then freezes. We've regained a lead. Now we just have to hope our defense can hold this one on and through. 49ers come out. 3 up top. They're tied into the bottom. Lamar Jackson will throw to Isaiah Likely with the catch, spinning for the first down. Again, they do not have any timeouts remaining. They're going to be in a hurry up for the remainder of this. Maybe a couple... why can I not think of the word? Spikes. That's what it is. Try to stop the clock, perhaps. 40 seconds left here. Lamar Jackson go. Just too many checkdowns. Too many checkdowns. Inside the 40, or up to the 40, I guess I should say. That'd be more of the opposite way around. Under 25 seconds now, Lamar Jackson. Another check down to Aaron Jones, who's getting 2-3 yards on these. 10 seconds left. They have to throw the ball downfield. Look for some Hail Mary attempts as Lamar Jackson scrambles to the bottom. If he looks to run, he steps out. Okay, I was going to say, if he looks to run, he's going to kill all the time with 3 seconds left. It is Hail Mary or nothing here for the 49ers. Bunch up top, 1 down to the bottom. Lamar Jackson takes a snap, sits in the pocket. He throws way too early, and that ball hits the turf. Game over. We'll squeak out another win this season against a pretty good opponent as well. Now, we do allow quite a few passing yards here, 189, but 56 rushing, not bad. 132 passing for us, 172 rushing. But the takeaways, they were killer in this game, and it gave the 49ers too much of an opportunity. And that win even more important as the Bills also win, keeping us level, at least record-wise. They still have the advantage due to our early season loss to them. So next episode, we'll start with probably the biggest game of at least the season. Can't really say of the series as we did make it to the AFC Championship in season 1. So that would definitely be the most important. A win in this next game, and then potentially wins in week 17 and 18, could very well see us, would see us through to the playoffs. We would win the division if that's the case, making it back to the playoffs season 3. So really important games coming up. Make sure you guys are sticking around. Hit that subscription button down below and that bell notification so that you're notified. But I do want to end this episode, and I think that's what I'm going to do for this series in general, is end every episode looking at the player stats so we can kind of get an idea of what's happening. David Wells, as mentioned, has been really good in the scheme. A little over 2,000 passing yards, 14 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, completion percentage of a 68. That is not bad. However, he's being sacked a lot, so that part, not fantastic. In the rushing game, Isaiah Pacheco already over 1,200 rushing yards, averaging 4.1 a rush, 7 touchdowns, 0 fumbles. A.J. Dillon, who is less than half the amount of carries, already 648 yards. He's averaging essentially 5 yards a carry with 8 touchdowns, 1 fumble. David Wells has had 2 rushing touchdowns and 2 fumbles. Gus Edwards has gotten 4 rushing touchdowns, and then 1 for Juszczyk and Tyler Kroft. Receiving wise, you're not going to see a lot of numbers here because we're not passing a whole lot, but Khalif Raymond does have 7 touchdowns on the season, leading us in yards with 471 on 32 catches. Jeff Smith, more receptions, 44, a little less yards, 453, only 1 touchdown. Same there for Gatewood on a lot less yards and catches. Again, we're not passing a whole lot. Pacheco has another 2 touchdowns via the passing game, and Bo Melton has 1. Now, blocking-wise, Alec Lindstrom is close to a sack a game, which isn't fantastic. And in the Bills game, we are going to be missing Zion Johnson, who was injured in practice. So that is a huge miss for us. In his place, Anthony Oliver will be getting the start, who is not as good of a pass blocker, more so a run blocker, which is, again, okay because we do more running than passing. But overall, not too bad. Matt Pert, our center, once again, not giving up a single sack. He's been fantastic for us. Defensively, Matt Milano already over 100 tackles with 107. Khalil Mack leads us in tackles for loss with 8, 7 for Zach Allen, 6 for Alton Robinson, and then 4 for Aluakon, Landry, and Westerman, 3 for Rogers and Collins, then 2 for Milano, Ryan, and Riddick, and then 1 for Jones, Simmons, Fatukasi, McDuffie, and Thompson. Our sack leader is Khalil Mack, moving into that rush DT role. He's not slowing down, 11.5 for him. And then tied for second, Robinson and Milano, both with 6. Landry very close behind at 5.5. 4 for Aluakon, 3.5 for Allen, 2.5 for Westerman, 2 for Fatukasi, and then half a sack for Rogers, Collins, Jones, and Harris. Our leaders in interceptions, 3-way tie with 4, Aluakon, Rogers, and Simmons, and then 2 for Milano and Collins. In the kicking department, not too bad for Troy Wyndham. 35 of 35 on extra points, 17 of 19 on field goal attempts. So not too bad. He's hit a long of 55. So for a rookie, he's doing all right. And if you like punting stats, Hofrichter is averaging 48.7 yards a punt, downing 11 inside the 20, 13 for touchbacks, and a long of 72. So as mentioned, really big game to start next episode. In fact, all 3 of them are going to be really big for determining if we win the division, by how much we win the division, where our seeding is in the playoffs. We should be making the playoffs as an 11-3 team, barring any significant drop the last game or last few games. So Really big next episode. Make sure you guys are subscribing. Just tap my bear icon in the bottom right. You'll go ahead and subscribe, or you can scroll down and hit the actual subscribe button right next to the bell icon, which you should also tap so you're notified when these videos go live. This series posted every Wednesday and Saturday, though that changes when the playoffs actually start. And then Monday and Thursday are the Commanders Replacement Squad videos. And then Tuesdays and Fridays on FIFA 23, my player career. So 6 videos every single week, a lot coming, including a really big game to start next episode. So until then, we'll see you guys later. Bye.
How it's supposed to feel.